Hello and welcome to the Babbling Bears podcast. I'm your host, Tay Carter. Our guests today are proud Black Bears at Penn Highlands Community College here. We got Jeff Matovich, Isaac Wiggins, and Dr. Rick Bukowski. Let's first have a chat with Isaac Wiggins. Thanks for coming to the podcast today, Isaac.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, man. So tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, man.
So I've been going to Penn Highlands for about 2 years now. I first started off at IUP in cybersecurity. So right out of high school, I knew I wanted to do something with computers, but cybersecurity wasn't exactly the thing that fit well for me. So I decided to transfer to Penn Highlands, and I got more into the production side of things, and I found out I really enjoy video editing and software stuff, kind of like that.
That's what's up, man. What's up, man. Well, since we got the opportunity to know about you a little bit better, man. We got a couple viewers that submitted some questions. Is it cool if I ask you a couple questions?
Shoot.
Cool, easy. So, why did you choose Penn Highlands?
I chose Penn Highlands because, to me personally, it seemed kind of a little bit like high school.
Yeah.
Like going out to IUP, it was a big step going from like a small town high school to a big 1,000 people graduating a year campus.
I understand. Yeah, I feel that.
So Penn Highlands just felt a little more comfortable for me, and then maybe from getting experience here, I'd be able to move up to a bigger college at some point, maybe.
I feel that. So also too, man. Going from computer science, what was the big thing that made you come into media production?
Mainly, like I said, I wanted to do something with computers out of high school, and I always found video editing intriguing and cool to know how to do that more, because I like watching YouTube and I like seeing the different types of things that editors for YouTubers are able to do, and I would like to be able to someday possibly do that myself.
I feel that, man. I feel that. I mean, and then do you have like an idea what school you want to go to after Penn Highlands?
I'm thinking maybe either trying UPJ or maybe even trying IUP again.
I got you.
Because over at IUP, they actually have their own radio station, like on-campus radio station that's run by media production students. So that'd be pretty cool to be able to do that and get some kind of lightweight on-hands experience with that before moving up to something more serious.
I definitely understand, man.
Yeah.
I mean, also too, I'm guessing, it's a pretty busy schedule with media production. How do you feel for like a student that comes in trying to do part-time and full-time? How do you feel like that works in your schedule?
Personally, I'm able to balance it fairly well because I only have a couple of classes, being it's my last semester, but I'm able to balance it fairly well with my part-time job. So it's not that much of a hassle to try to balance my work, personal, and educational life.
I feel that. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, man.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, man. But also too, man. Like since you've been here, I'm guessing for quite a while, man. Is there any like favorite projects that you got the chance to work on?
Favorite project, I would probably say I did this past semester in my media production class, actually, was a documentary on something, and I did a documentary on corgis.
Okay.
So
I did see that.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing that because it let me see how much I've been able to learn and really put my skills that I've been trying to get to better. I really got to see how well I've improved over time. Yeah, that's
what's up, man. I mean, also too, other than like on campus and anything, were you able to use any of those skills that you learned outside of campus?
At the moment, not really, but I do plan on being able to someday be able to use those skills to use, because I'm trying to look for summer internships currently where I could put those to use, like WJAC-TV or some other type of maybe Froggy or something like that.
That'll be fun, right?
Yeah.
So also too, man, I know you mentioned about being part of the school's media production club.
Yeah.
We have some viewers actually with questions pertaining to that media club as well. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So what is some of your favorite aspect about the club?
Some of my favorite aspects about the club is that I want to say like family, but it's not really like family. It's just like an old group of friends getting together just to hang out, have fun, spend some time together, making some goofy content to post on the YouTube channel.
I feel that, man. I feel that. I mean, what would you tell somebody that might be interested in joining the club?
I would say do it because it gives me more experience with how to do things, what goes into production, the scripting, the coming up with the idea and getting everybody on board with the idea and just going through it. And once you have that finished product, you get to see all that hard work finished and complete.
So very satisfying at the end of seeing everything.
Yeah.
I got you. And you guys post a lot of your stuff on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel.
Easy. And say, what's the name for the YouTube channel?
It's Penn Highlands Media.
Easy.
Penn Highlands Media, something like that.
Easy. And also too, Isaac, I saw that you brought a friend with you as well, Jeff.
Yeah.
Let's welcome Jeff Matovich to the show. So now it's your turn.
Okay.
Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, man.
Okay. Graduating from Penn Highlands here in a few weeks. Media production major. Before this, I was a software engineer for the better part of a decade. Decided over COVID that I wanted to kind of get an additional degree to make myself a little more marketable. I wasn't really happy with the company I was currently working with.
I got you. Which company was that?
It was just a local company in Johnstown.
I got you.
So came back to school to get a degree in media production.
That's what's up, man. What's up, man. I mean, also too, I want to ask you the same questions.
Okay, shoot.
So what's one of the big reasons you chose Penn Highlands?
I graduated from UPJ with a bachelor's. I liked that school, but I felt that the Penn Highlands had a more hands-on media program.
Okay.
UPJ had one too, but it seemed like more book work. This, you actually got some experience. So I wanted the real life hands-on experience more than anything.
I feel that, man. I mean, also too, man. Why did you choose media production? What's the big reason?
I've always been into technology and cameras, especially.
Yeah.
Over COVID, you quarantine, you make some funny videos, and you edit a couple of videos, and I started to like that a lot more than what I was currently doing. So I said, let's. I'd regret it if I didn't pursue something in this kind of field too. I always got something to fall back on, but this is something I have a passion for.
I feel that, man. Were you making TikToks during the pandemic?
No, I'm an old YouTube guy.
I got you.
No.
I feel that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, after you graduate here, did you have any other plans on going to another college or anything like that?
No, this is the end of the line for me. I'm hoping to get a job outside of school real soon.
I got you.
Started looking. I'd like to get a job. I mean, I even like to work at Penn Highlands. I've done a lot of volunteer work, and I've made a lot of nice connections with faculty and staff, and everybody's great here. If I can't find something here, I'm huge into video editing and photography. I'd love to work for WJAC or become a wedding photographer or anything like that.
Love you, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Love you, what's up? See, I'm trying to get married here sometime.
Oh, yeah?
So
hey, I'm in September, so.
Yeah, I got to find a girlfriend first. But also, too, man, I know you have a pretty busy schedule, huh?
Yeah.
So, how does everything fit into your schedule? You go to school full-time, part-time?
So I'm part-time.
Okay.
I had a lot of credits transfer from UPJ, but I still ended up having to go for the 2 years. I work a few hours a week for a local artist and collector, taking photos for him and selling his artwork. And I do a lot, like I said, a lot of volunteer work for the school, doing photography, working with the marketing department. So I get all my work done without an issue. So it's not too bad.
That's what's up. I mean, also too, man. Since you've been here for quite a while, you worked on different projects in school, out of school.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of your favorite projects to work on?
So I haven't been doing much. I got all of the real fun classes. the editing and videography classes done last year. But I guess last year I did 2 that I liked. One was called Note to Self, where you kind of had a conversation with yourself, and that was fun because it was one camera, but it made it look like you had a 2-camera production. And my final project, my practicum project, that was a lot of fun. I made a scary movie, and I like the creative freedom with that. So you kind of do whatever you want to do, as long as it turns out good. Yeah.
I feel that, man. That's what's up, man. And I know you're part of the media production club here too. Is there anything that you want to say about that?
Like Isaac said, it's like a family. I mean, last week we went to lunch together, and then we did some filming at a local bowling alley for someone's video. So I mean, we have fun, and we get experience at the same time.
That's dope, man. That's dope. And I know you and Isaac, you guys are both familiar with Rick Bukowski. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you coming into the show, man.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Gosh, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
As I think my students know, I'm basically somebody who loves media, and I always have. Like, I think a lot of our students, it's something we discover about ourselves when you go through life's journey. When I was working at WJAC TV, my friends there actually had a name for me. They called me Media Man, because while I was there, I was actually part-time radio, full-time TV, teaching, and writing a column for the Tribune Democrat about radio, about media, every week. So I was kind of involved in every aspect of that. I did cable television in there for a while as well. So it's kind of like if it's media, I think it's cool, and I like to be a part of it, and I like to do it. And then eventually I got to teach it, which is pretty exciting too.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So what was the thought process from coming from WJC TV to Penn Highlands?
It wasn't a surprise in any way, because when the college, I was working part-time for the college long before we got media production started. So that was communication classes, public speaking, and things like that. And they always looked at me and said, you have so much experience in media. We'd love to do a media program. And I said, I would love to be part of that. So we talked about it for a couple of years before it even got off the ground. But then when we started building it, I volunteered to create the syllabi and the kind of the program structure and all this long before they ever hired me. And so I did all that, and I was happy with that. If that's all I got out of it, it was fun just to be part of the creation of the department. Because then they go through the hiring process. And I was one of, I think, more than a dozen people that came in for interviews and such. But I was lucky enough to get it. So it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a shock where all of a sudden I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm teaching media now. It was something that I had been working for years, and had actually gone back to school to get a master's and eventually a PhD in order to facilitate the process.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. I know you years of experience, WJC TV. If you don't mind me asking, what was your favorite part of that program, of the production aspect for you?
You mean here at the college, or are you talking about
here at the college?
Here at the college, the things we do. I was in the studio when I heard Jeff talking about the video that he made called Note to Self. And it's great. It's one that I've shown to other students and everything. Note to Self is where I ask you to put 2 of you there and have a conversation with yourself, basically. Okay. And in Jeff's case, it was the older Jeff talking to the more recent Jeff, kind of a thing, sitting at a table in his dining room. And that's an idea I just love. I didn't create the idea, by the way. I stole the idea. In media, we steal stuff all the time, right? You didn't invent the podcast, but you're doing one now, right? Somebody else started that. Somebody else started a kind of note to self thing. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's cool. I got to get my students to do that. And so that's one of the many projects we have in the program that I get a kick out of seeing, because I get to see their creativity, how they look at the elements that I say, do something like this, and then see how they put it together and make it happen.
Oh, that's what's up, man. I know I feel like I'm throwing a lot of questions at you, but if you don't mind me asking, what would you tell a prospective student that's thinking about getting into the media production?
I really do talk about what we were just talking about. You got to love media, because I've had a handful of students who come in, and for whatever, I don't know what they expected or what they thought they were going to do, but then they, after the first semester, they say to me, so we pretty much sit around on a computer a lot, huh? And I said, yep, everything is digital these days. So even though we're going out and we're shooting stuff and we're out in the field, it always comes back to coming back, sitting in front of a computer screen and learning how to edit and put it all together. And they didn't like that. They had no interest in computers and working with computers, so they got out of it. So I usually tell students, I try to, potential students, I try to really explain what we do and what it looks like and what an average day or an average class is like, so that they come in very much aware that they will be shooting films and they will be learning how to edit and they will be hearing, some theory and discussing what some of the experts say and things like that. But it'll be very hands-on. And if you don't like that, it's probably not a program for you. If you maybe like media but don't want to make it, you like watching a movie or like playing a video game, but you don't necessarily want to create any of those things yourself, then it's not a good fit. But if you're that person that likes to create, and we use these elements to create things, then you fit right in.
I feel that. And then also too, I know you had a lot of students that probably came in and out of here. What would you say for those students that wants to know, like, what kind of jobs you can get with an associates in media production?
We're in a field that's it's changing so dramatically right now. When I started this field, and this was only 10 years ago that we started this program, I probably would have told people that you might try to go to a company that produces video content, so content for their website, content for their commercials for TV and things like that. Now, and it hasn't been just a handful of years, but now those organizations are pretty much all gone, and everybody is making their own content. So you've got like shoe stores. I have one student who works for a shoe store, who before would have hired out somebody to make their content. Now they hire somebody that they will have in-house make all of their content. And it's so much cheaper for them because otherwise it costs just tens and thousands of dollars to make commercials and things like that. But the equipment is so cheap these days, and editing software and everything you need is so inexpensive that you can really do all that in-house. So right now we're in this mushrooming kind of cloud of work where so many different people are finding work within another structure, within another type of business. A quick example was a guy who graduated IUP. He got a lawyer's degree. Mm-hmm. When he was approached by a big law firm in Pittsburgh, he thought, wow, this is great. This is like top of the line law firm. They're never going to hire me. I'm a kid just out of college. What would they want me for? Mm-hmm. He applied, he got the job, and they told him later, we wanted you because we saw in your resume you know how to make videos. So he is now making videos for this law firm and loving it. Because he had done that not as his major at IUP, but as a minor and as a kind of a club thing and all that. He fell in love with media production. But he, his first interest was also legal. Now he's putting the two of those together, and people are doing that everywhere.
I got you. That's crazy. And I know you had a couple of students as well that, they actually got hired here from a couple of radio stations here as well, right?
Yep, definitely. We have both. We have very strong connections to the company formerly known as Forever Broadcasting, mm-hmm. recently bought, and now it's called Seven Mountains Media Broadcasting, and WJAC TV, because those are the two places where I worked, and so I still have friends there, and we tour the place. We recently toured WJAC TV with some students, and they actually will contact me and say, hey, you got anybody? We need somebody immediately to fill this role. You got anybody who can do this or whatever? And I send recommendations out to those folks all the time. So those connections are very strong, and we have some students who have just really got their foot in the door and went hog wild, just did a fantastic job for them, where now those people, my friends from the stations I used to work at, will contact me and say, oh my gosh, that person's fantastic. That person is awesome. Thank you so much for sending that person. We love them. So we always have that kind of connection, and we have a lot of jobs that go that way. One job I like to mention I had nothing to do with was a fellow that we had here who loved auto racing. And he's connected or always went to Keystone Raceway in Pittsburgh, and he hated their video stuff. he said that they have horrible video. Most of the videos on YouTube and the stuff that associated with them were shot by fans in the stadium seating, taking their phone and going like this, trying to catch up with the cars, looks horrible. And when he graduated here, he went over there, he had the piece of paper, and he said, here's what you need. You need this kind of, production work. You need this kind of audio. You need a drone. You need a virtual reality camera. You need to have a YouTube channel for this and a YouTube channel for that. And you need to have this, that, and the other, all this kind of stuff. I will do it for you, and here's what you'll pay me. Had a lot of chutzpah to, do something like that. But he was not asking for an outrageous amount of money. He knew the industry, and he knew what would be an appropriate kind of fee. And he took it in, never met the boss before, took it in, gave it to the boss. The boss looked at it, thought about it. They chatted for about 5 minutes, and the boss put the paper down and said, you're hired. Start Monday. And he's been there ever since. And it is his dream job to do all of this amazing video with these cars just, going as fast as they can and peeling out, and smoke and lights, and crowds are cheering. And, he does virtual reality shots from inside the car. So you put the goggles on or whatever, you feel like you're in that car at Keystone Raceway. And he has drone shots from overhead, and he does multiple shots from the car coming, so you get that kind of swish look, where it comes in and it goes away from you. And he loves editing. He loves putting that stuff together. He does interviews with the drivers, and he's like a superstar there. Everybody loves him because he knows everybody else who does the racing and things like that. And he's already been asked to go, other people are trying to hire him away to try to go to, bigger raceways and stuff. But he loves Keystone, and he's still there. He actually shoots the same camera, one of the cameras we have here, because he used it here, said, oh my gosh, this is a great camera. And now that's the only thing he shoots on out there, because he has such good success with that camera. So there's stories like that too, of people that create their own opportunities, and don't necessarily need me to help them find work. But if I can, I'm more than happy to do that and get. I'd love it if all my students, got hired right outside of out of college. That would be awesome.
And also too, if you don't mind me asking, I mean, I know there's a lot of projects that goes on here. Have you ever seen any projects that was worked on outside of the school that was worked on in the school that was shown outside?
Well, we actually do some of those on a regular basis. We work with the radio stations in the area to do a Christmas show. It's a 2-hour original Christmas show. It's an AM station which normally does talk radio, so it's not licensed for music. So we can't just say, "Oh, put a bunch of music on." Can't do that. Can't do music.
No jingle bells.
No jingle bells. We have to do original drama, original like character voices and stories about, oh, here comes Santa, and here's the elves and things like that. That's so much fun to do every year. So other people are maybe celebrating Thanksgiving. We're knocking out a Christmas show. And we do that every year for 2 hours, which is a lot of fun. And then we also work pretty closely with Richland Cinemas. They have a term for those things you see before the movie. They're called interstitials. And we make interstitials for Richland Cinemas. And we haven't done it. We haven't expanded yet, but it's always kind of been my dream. We're connected to a company in Florida called Pot of Gold Productions, who saw what we did for Richland Cinemas and said, hey, if you guys ever want to make something for us, we'll put it on all of our screens, which is 3,600 screens in North America. So it's really big, We haven't done it yet, but we're thinking about it. And I always tease my students, say, look, I can't get you on the next Marvel movie, but I can get you on the interstitial that plays right before the next Marvel movie, all over North America. And we can do that. We haven't yet stretched that far, but that would be a fun project to do.
That's what's up. You see, is there any changes that you would like to see in the future for new media production? Or
the biggest thing we have going on right now is a maker place. That again is not an original idea. A lot of colleges and a lot of communities have a place. And it's basically a big room where you can come in and maybe outside people or maybe just our students or whatever can make videos. And not necessarily because you're part of media production. We're just making it available to everybody kind of a thing. And we're talking about doing that here. So it would be, we're going to take over actually 2 classrooms on the second floor, knock out the wall in the middle, and have an extra big space. And when you go in there, you'll have all kinds of different stuff set up. So my goal is to have the green screen set up, have cameras set up, have maybe a podcast station set up, maybe have a couple of sets, maybe a game show set or a news set or something like that, so that you can kind of just walk in and it's there, rather than the way we do it now is we have to build it every time we use it because we don't have any permanent space. So that would be a permanent maker space where we could have things like that. And with that would be the goal of bringing in high school students. Okay. So we'd make a plan where we say, hey, come for a day at Penn Highlands. It's media production day. And those kids usually like it. It's a day off school for them, and if they have any interest in media production, they sign up, they come, and we spend a day with them, and we make like a whole film in the context of several hours at the station in a makerspace. Okay. And then that introduces our program to them. Maybe next fall we see more students, coming in because they're familiar with what we're doing here. So that's something I'd really like to see, and I think I will. I think it'll happen.
And then even too, it sounds like there's a lot of benefits for taking the media program here at Penn Highlands. Also too, I know there's a lot of students that you might see that's might be interested in different things outside of production, like I guess like directing, voice acting, acting in general. There's a lot of opportunities that you see here in the media program for them.
I wish we had more of those. For example, we've tried for I think 3 semesters now to have an acting class, and our goal is to have the acting class, and then like for me in media production to be able to go to them and say, hey, my media production people have written this really cool story. We need you to act it, because most of our people are not actors. We stumble through things and we'll act when we have to, but we're not really good actors. But for 3 semesters, we've not yet had enough to roster the class. We have to have a minimum of like 7 or something, and we don't get 7 students. So we're hoping that will happen and kick in, and we'll grow in that arena. The other areas as well, we're doing a new thing with graphic design, so people that like graphic design will have that place to go. We have a new photography course that just started last year. Things like audio work and audio voicing. We don't have a specific program for that, but I would like to integrate that into what we do. And one of the big things I'm excited about is Adobe has a new character animator where you make cartoons, and it's as easy as click and dragging. And then you put the camera on yourself, and when you move your hands and your facial features, the animated character does the same. Okay. So it's quick and easy to make an animation. So we have that. Now we need character voices, right? Let's see if we can get some different students who can manipulate their voice to sound like what we hear when we see professional cartoons on TV, and start to put together that kind of a product as well. I think that would be a lot of fun.
It sounds like there's going to be a lot of changes here in the future then.
Things are always happening. We're always moving quickly, and sometimes you just try things to see if they work. Let's put this out there and see what happens. And the ones that work, you keep. If not, you discard it and move on. But we're always doing something.
Gotta see what sticks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the podcast for today. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing from our club members, Jeff and Isaac, and the overseer and professor, Mr. Bukowski. And I want to encourage you guys, if you had fun listening today, I want you guys to come out, stop by into the Media Production Club. I ask you to consider getting involved. There's a lot of opportunities here, as Dr. Bukowski was telling us. So come out, show your face, and learn. So there's so much to learn now with the Penn Highlands Community College Media Club. We'd be happy to see you. Thank you.